It's a really hard one to say because we're not talking about something that is easily caught, put in a zoo and dissected. You can't give it a species based on its genetics, and you can't really describe it in terms of how many eyes it's got, how many wings, and how it mates. And those, the normal way we would differentiate now in modern science is hard to apply. Those type of names, they came about mostly because of how they interacted with us. So when you look at things like the elves and such, like you often think of things like the trooping fairies, the ones that come to the courts, the more like the saline and unsailing court. They tend to be the ones that are either very pro-human or very anti-human. We talk about things like the Sidhe, which tend to be the very grand, sort of like almost human-sized type creatures. You talk about things like boggarts, for example, and hobgoblins, and those, they tend to be more solitary creatures. Some of them that are out to cause you trouble, some that will be living in your house to help and clean. Brownies are a classic one, hence why the little girl guys, that were called them. And locally, for example, at Burleigh, they talk of not will-o'-the-wisp, but Chris Candles, which again is that mischievous sprite who would lead you out in the moor and get you lost. And there are stories about how he'd helped, young women who got lost out there because they'd been jilted by lovers, how he helped them get back safely, but the guy was never seen again, those kind of things. So the kind of distinction you're looking at tend to be more what environment you're going to find them in and how they will behave towards us. So your two biggest distinctions would be things like your trooping fairies, which go by big groups, and your solitaries, which are on their own and do their own little thing, tend to be a lot simpler. You've got your saily and the unsaily court they often talk about. The unsaily being those that don't particularly like humans, they think are a bit of a pain in the ass and they will cause us trouble if they can. And the saily court, who generally are okay with us, but equally don't stand on their toes because they're not angels, they're not kind to us, they just don't hate us.